Hi friends, I'm Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my bookish goals and resolutions for 2016. It's not a very long list, but there are some goals that are definitely more important to me than others, but I'm just gonna go through them and tell you. So my first goal is my Goodreads challenge, and that is to read 50 books. Last year I read 100 books, exactly. Well, I read 107, 8, 7, something like that. That is including all the rereads that I did. That Goodreads does not count. That is a lot of books. I have never ever read that much in my whole life before. And this year I don't doubt that I could do that again, but I kind of want to slow down my reading a bit and be a little more mindful, I guess. Not trying to read things just for the sake of reading them, but reading them because I want to, if that makes sense. Like, I was just reading like a maniac last year. Yeah, so I just want to slow down a little bit, and I think 50 books is still a good goal. That's just about a book a week, and I read that anyway. So yeah, I think that is definitely doable for me, because I still have lots of books that I would like to read, and so yeah, I'm not going to slow down that much. My next goal is to read 12 new to me Canadian authors that I have never read before. I definitely do not read enough Canadian authors, and that is very sad to me. I've only read a handful of Canadian authors this last year. My teeth giving me hiccups. So I have a goal to read books by one new Canadian author every month, and I still am working it out, but I am planning on doing a video series of that as well, making videos just going through, highlighting the authors that I've chosen, maybe a little bit of their background and where they come from and their works and stuff like that, and then telling you about the book that I read by them. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And so I'm really excited about it. I already have a list of authors. I have more than 12 authors on there, so that shouldn't be a problem for me to acquire books. And if you have suggestions of Canadian literature, please leave it down below. Give me book recommendations. I would love to hear them, so that I can add them to my list and maybe try them out. So the last two and this one, they're kind of my priorities. And my next goal is to read my own dang books. On January 1st, I counted all of the books on my TBR shelf, my physical shelf, and there were 170 books on there. That is really bad. I do not mind having unread books by any means. I like to have a little bit of a TBR so that I have choice, but 170 is just ridiculous. And I feel totally overwhelmed by it. I'm sure there are people out there that could have 170 unread books and that would not bother them the slightest, but for me personally, I'm just starting to feel very overwhelmed, and I'm starting to feel guilty when I buy new books and read them, and then I still have all these other books that I was excited for and I haven't read them yet. I'm just going to read my own books. I have myself on a library ban for the next little while. The only exceptions that I'm going to make for the next foreseeable future is just I'm going to be borrowing books for my Goodreads book club, but other than that, I'm just going to read my own books. And so, kind of going along with that, my rules for buying books this year, they have to fit one of the following. They have to be a book in a series that I own and that I am caught up on and want to own the next book as well. So the third book in the Remnant Chronicles would be an example of that. I'm caught up on the series and I have to own that one. So that one is allowed. It has to be a new book from an author that I love and am caught up on all of their previous works. So if Sophie Kinsella comes out with a new book, then I can purchase that because I am caught up on all of her books and I own most of them. The last criteria is that it has to be a book that I've already read and want to own. Another example, I read Between Shades of Grey by Reduce Petties. I borrowed that from the library and I must own it for my collection. So that is a book that I am allowed to buy. So I'm trying to be really strict with myself this year because last year I bought a lot of books and I have not read most of them. And yeah, and this is not in any way meant to shame people that buy lots of books. For me, I don't have tons of disposable income for buying books that I'm not intending to read. So it's just kind of a check for myself because I'm starting to not feel good about my book buying habits, and that is in no way judgment on anybody else. Like, you do you and I'm gonna do me, but I need to be a little bit strict with myself this year. Then the next two books are kind of blog related. I want to take notes on books while I'm reading them. I'm very bad at remembering what I liked about books and stuff, especially if I read the book at the beginning of the month and then, you know, for my wrap up at the end of the month. It's kind of like, what did I specifically like about that book? So I just want to take notes while I'm reading, just kind of to keep those impressions and kind of make kind of a journal for myself, I guess. The last goal that I have is to write a review for every book that I read on my blog. I'm not very active on my blog at all. It's terrible. And so I would like to kind of pay more attention to that this year. I'd like to write reviews for all of the books that I read. And like, I always think they have to be like these long things, and they don't. They don't have to be long at all. They can just be whatever. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And so then, you know, if I don't want to talk about a book a lot in one of my videos, I can just link you to the review. And so I'm hoping that that will kind of work out. And also, I miss writing, and I don't really do it at all lately, and it's just terrible. So I want to get back into the habit of blogging and writing as well. So that is kind of incentive for me to do that. So those are my goals for 2016. And part of me making this video is just so that I have this on record for the end of the year and I can see how well I stuck to them. But yeah, I would love to know some of your goals as well for this year. Maybe I'll adopt them as well if they kind of fit along with these goals that I've already made. We can cheer each other on throughout the year, so that would be great. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon with the next video. Bye.